Hello Aquarius, and thank you so much for joining me for the June of 2021 Taroscope and Animal Totem reading. This is Vickieverlie, the Rock and Roll Prophetess. I'm 30 years of professional experience doing astrology, tarot, and channeling and other things. I create decks, including the Rock and Roll Tarot deck, which we're going to use for the main portion of the reading. Then we're going to follow up with one card from the Beast Mistress Animal Oracle cards to get your Animal Totem for the month. If you are a level 2 Patreon supporter, we're going to do some additional cards. In this month's deck, we're going to use the Luna Soul Tarot. Pretty cool deck I just got. It's got even some extra cards that aren't in a normal tarot deck. There's so much going on with the astrology this month. We've got the second part of the eclipse. We're in eclipse season. We're going to have the new moon eclipse on June 10th. And then we're going to have the solstice on June 20th. So a lot of shifting and energy and things changing, opportunities to really make a new beginnings in our lives in all different areas. I have thoroughly shuffled this deck on the going through on the way in between the videos, I should say. And now we're just going to do a very loose shuffle to let spirit guides and angels pull out the cards that are meant for you. There's no gender in these readings, so it could be male, female, anybody. These court cards are not necessarily anybody, male or female. The other thing is, with the writing on this card, pay attention to your intuition, because you can get personal messages from the words and images on the cards. They're meant to be kind of blobby and running together. Did it that way for a reason. So if you see a word standing out, going backwards, forwards, up and down, any which way, that's the way your guides can really get you a personal message in a very general reading. Okay, so the very first card out was the Six of Rods in reverse. This talks about maybe not being treated fairly, not getting recognition that you thought that you were entitled to or some way. And we've got over here, we've got this Queen of Rods in reverse. So this Queen of Rods in reverse, whether male or female, may have had something to do with it in a negative way. The Rods people could be fire, which are Leo, Aries, or Sagittarius. Or this could have happened in the last fire sign. We just came out of the sign of Aries last month, or a couple months ago, in April actually. So this might be dating back to around that time. Never fear though, because we're in eclipse season, we've got the solstice coming up. These are the times, these powerful times to really set your intention, you know, for the upcoming year, for the upcoming season. The new moon eclipse lasts a good 6 months, and then the solstice on the 20th. The new moon eclipse is on June 10th, and then the solstice on the 20th. It kicks off the entire season. I am, by the way, still offering those solstice readings too, so you might want to check that out. It's a personal reading of, you know, aligning with the seasonal. It's a seasonal reading, and it's very popular, and it'll only be available for a limited time. But it looks like no matter what, you guys are poised to make a new beginning here. You're poised to cut through and be cut loose and cut free of whatever this was. And it certainly looks like this Queen of Cups could be somebody very much involved in it in a very positive way. Supportive is the word that comes through. This person is very supportive. But I don't feel like it's just like they're going to hold your hand and say, oh, poor baby, I'm sorry you didn't get this and that. They're like, hey, they're more, this feels like a very strong energy of supportive of, they know you're talented. I feel like for many of you, like, this is your old relationship, this is your new. This is your old job, this is your new. You know, this is showing the old stuff, and this is where you're heading. And the new situation is very favorable. It's not about crying in your beer or boo-hooing about whatever. This is about, you know, hey, I think you're great. And I want to, you know, I think you're great. I want to, maybe I love you. Maybe if it's, because we do have the Ten of Cups here. Some of you may be falling in love, you know. I don't know, falling in love. And I tell her all the things I've been thinking of. Now we're together nearly every single day. No, that's a do-wah-diddy. That song is coming through. So many of you probably are going to be falling in love. Or falling in love again. You might be going on a trip or a vacation now that some of the restrictions have lifted. Because this is talking about some kind of a journey. But it's a journey or transition of life as well. And this Ten of Cups is not always just about marriage and love, you know. It's about just being ecstatically happy. You know, it's just like the 10 is the most happiness and joy that you could possibly experience. And it's coming through like this. So it's a new situation with involving the Queen of Cups is part of it, male or female. And it's this new energy and this new, you know, just so positive stuff. you're a little freaked out about it, it looks like. You might be like, wow. This talks about I'm a little freaked out, I'm a little nervous about it, I'm not sure if I really want to do this, I don't know if I can. And, you know, it is tied to this past thing. So you might think, you know, maybe you've been kicked down so long that you're like, somebody, you know, wants to pick you up. You're like, whoa, what's this? It's a different energy, but in a good way. Or if it's, you know, this big love relationship, you might be just like, you know what, I'm done with relationships. I don't even need this crap anymore. I'm done with it. It's almost like it seems too good to be true. I might put that as, let me write that down as your headline. It seems too good to be true, or maybe just too good to be true, because there's not a lot of space in these headlines to be true. I definitely want to let everybody know what we were dealing with the eclipses. But you're leaving these troubled waters behind and you're moving on to the next thing, and that does involve some sort of increase in money, it looks like, for many of you. That's what makes me, you know, that brings me back to the finances and the money. There does seem to be an opportunity to make more money in a different kind of situation. The six, these two are kind of similar. They're both sixes, but they're similar energy. This is the recognition that you get when you feel, you know, this is just the acknowledgement part of it. And then this is the financial rewards. So you're not getting the acknowledgement here, but you are getting the acknowledgement in this next chapter or this next place. You've got to have the courage to do it, though. You've got to have the courage to step outside of whatever this is. I mean, of course you don't want to just quit your job, you know, and you want to have somewhere to leap, but to at least start looking into other things. The Hangman is here, and that's a card, often a card of like really pausing and reflecting, but it's also a card of really getting downloads. And it can be, it's very much a counteraction to the Eight of Swords here, because this is like being really stressed out, and then this is like, you know, meditating or whatever, aligning those chakras, you know, this is very much, he's enlightened, you know, the Hangman's not being strangled, he's getting enlightenment here, he's getting downloads. So aligning with it, bringing yourself into alignment with this Ten of Cups, this positive energy, you know, it looks like it could be a really good time for you. You're coming out of something that was kind of funky, but with the Ace of Swords here, and right next to it, so whatever this Ace of Swords is, Ten of Cups, it has the potential to be, you know, Ten of Cups. Over the top, happiness, joy, love, marriage, all that good stuff. Queen of Cups, male or female, is very much involved. Okay, so I did mention that we are having those, the ingress readings, again, most popular readings of the year, be available for a limited time. The Cancer, the solstice ingresses, the solstice and the other ingresses, this is a very powerful time when the seasons shift and the whole zeitgeist, the whole energy, all shifts. And when I look at it with your chart, we can see exactly how it affects your chart, where your power points are, your power places. And you know, it's a very powerful reading. I always did the ingress readings. Before I did YouTube, I never did new and full moon readings or anything like that. But I always did the ingress readings with my chart because it's a really powerful predictive tool. And it's the only intuitive astrology readings that I offer. They're only, you know, they're not always available. So if you're interested in that, check it out. Let's get your animal totem. This is for our Aquarius friends for the animal totem. This is the one. Spider, you're weaving your web of destiny. You're weaving the web of destiny. The spider is not worried. The spider does the work, builds its web, and then it just waits, and because it knows that the universe is going to provide. The other cool thing about spider showing up with Hangman, you know, the Hangman is the hanging from the tree of life. And in Norse mythology, in runics, this is Odin. And Odin hung from the tree of life, and then in the spider web, the runic alphabet was taught to him. Spider imparted knowledge onto Odin, hanging from the Yggdrasil or something it's called. Well, let's read what I wrote originally. Weaver of fate, creator of life, patient builder of sacred geometry, transcending time and space. All are joined in the wheel of life. Well, what I got out of that last part about the all are joined in the wheel of life, because this would also this card is very strongly connected to the Wheel of Fortune. So what I was getting out of that was that all are joined in the wheel of life. We're all these are fated interactions. They're all fated, they're all joined together. And even this person, even like your worst enemies or whatever, they're all part of your karmic plan or your destiny or whatever. You know, I wouldn't give nothing for my journey now. That's what I'm hearing. Yeah, so it's all part of the journey. It's all part of what's prepared you to step into this, you know, this new power that's presenting itself at this time. We do have a lot of powerful different shakeups and things going on. Real quick before we go, I wanted to show you, I ordered some examples of these journals. They turned out so cool. I'm so happy with them. I just have some of the ones that are available. There's two kinds. There's either the journal, which this has lines inside of it, and then the journal sketchbook is just the blank. I had to actually put tiny little, they won't let you do completely blank, so there's this tiny little page numbers. But I mean, you could color over that or whatever. So there's journal sketchbooks and journals that are lined. And I have just, you know, a bunch of different styles. It's all based on my original artwork. It's very reasonably priced. These are $6 and some change. They're nice and big. They're 8 by 10. So there's these are a few different varieties. And on this one, there's a few different colors of this. There's also the completed Hamza, but then there's this one where you know, you could draw this in yourself. You could decorate this Hamza or leave it like it is, because I just thought it looked cool like it is. And then I'm going to put those links below. That's my BV Creative stuff. And I also did a whole series of staff paper music notebooks for the musician in your lives. And it's the same principle with the Bach, the Johann Sebastian Bach, who created this alphabet, complete alphabet through the notes and everything. So each one, Piano, is the notes for the word. So there's all different instruments. There's piano and a lot of band instruments, trombones and oboes and things like that. So if you want to, it's only $6 and some change. If any of that interests you, please do check it out, because all that goes to contributing to me, you know, putting up the free videos all these years after years. If you are a Patreon level 2 supporter, there's going to be 3 more cards pulled, and you can find out information about that. You can find out about the readings, everything in the description of this video. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you enjoy my content, please do hit the subscribe button. Thank you for supporting me and purchasing my wares. I have t-shirts and books, and I have a bunch of courses too. I have some spiritual painting courses, which I've actually lowered some of the prices on. Recently I'm having a sale. So lots to check out. I wish that you would. I'm so grateful for those of you who do. And remember that you are love and beauty incarnate, and have the best month of June. And we'll speak to you again soon.